returning for another visit. I couldn't be more excited. And everybody knows Graham Elwood now that you've been watching the show. And hopefully you guys have been following him at Graham Elwood on Twitter. You've been watching his YouTube channel, Graham Elwood. He is the political vigilante. He is also the director of Earbuds, which is a life-changing movie that you should check out. He's a fantastic stand-up comic. Now, this is something I'm just going to throw at him really fast. I went ahead, Graham, and I watched the video that you put up about a year ago, which covered your Hollywood, your sordid Hollywood journey as a that's so funny, as a game show host. And I got to tell you, I watched the whole podcast just before I went live, and it's really it's interesting to see your journey and see that you did that stuff and how you look back on it, and to see that it's so refreshing to know that somebody who had that mindset of Hollywood is now got the mindset of helping people, not just building your own brand. Mm-hmm. And I just love it. So let's start out today. Right at the beginning, I want Graham to just take a moment and to promote whatever he wants you guys, where he wants to find, where you guys want to, he wants you to be able to find him on the internet, anything like that. Go ahead, Graham.
Well, Nate, thanks for having me on the show, dude. I really appreciate it. And yeah, you can watch my youtube.com/Graham Elwood. The show is The Political Vigilante. I go live like 4 days a week on YouTube. And then I also go live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific on rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. I love it. It's my sort of backup plan for YouTube, which is owned by Google, which has been in bed with the CIA since 2011. Anyway, that's but yeah, if you go to grahamelwood.com, you can follow me on social media. I've got a Patreon page. I've got PayPal buttons. There's all these great ways to support what I'm doing. And then if you Twitter, I'm at Graham Elwood. That's where I talk the most politics. And then my videos, I drop usually, around 3 videos a day, 15 to 20 videos a week. So just, and I've got playlists on like MMT and Jeffrey Epstein and Julian Assange. We're going to be covering more Assange stuff this week, obviously, because his trial started back up. So yeah, that's what I do, man. I'm a lefty, anti-war, pro-labor, Green New Deal wanting socialist. So who used to be a game show host and is still a comedian. So that's what I do.
And you're good at it. And I want to go over. You threw something out there. Just you're talking about Google taking over. You're talking about corporations. I talk about that sort of thing too. When Google took over YouTube, was that 2011? Was that the year that they did that?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So
in there.
In 2010, I started my channel on YouTube. And I was one of those overnight sensations. I was smoking cannabis on my show, so it took off. And when Google took over, things changed, and I was no longer successful. I kind of just went down in flames, and I've been struggling ever since. I just recently got a copyright strike on my channel, from my big channel, which got 25,000 subscribers on it, from a video that I uploaded in 2017, and YouTube won't even tell me what the material was in the video. That they are running me through circles, and I'm having these issues. I'm kind of curious, have you run into any brick walls when you're doing YouTube uploads or any social media at all? Or has it all just been, you upload it, everything goes fine, you don't have to worry about it?
No, I mean, I wish it was that easy, but yeah, absolutely. YouTube is definitely, they pulled my live stream down about 2-3 months ago, mid live stream, because I was saying something they didn't like. I've had any video about Epstein is demonetized. Any video about war or Yemen or anything like that is almost always demonetized. And for the viewers, that means they won't put ads on it, which is how you make money on YouTube. I've had my numbers throttled. I've been stuck at 71,500 subscribers for about 3 weeks now. Like, that's just not possible. And I'll see, if this was like 4 years ago, I started my channel about 3.5 years ago. So around that time, a little before and right when I started, YouTube was just like, they had this great metric, and they wanted your channel to grow. The more content you promoted or posted, the more they promoted it, and they it was this very, very smart thing. And then Google comes in, and then they're throttling it. And it used to be, my videos would get pushed up. If I talked about, like a year ago, I started covering the Epstein case, and that's where my channel went from like 20 to 50,000 subscribers in the matter of about 6 weeks, which was great. And then they it's like they caught it.
They
like,
did.
Oh,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They saw the growth. They've got algorithms that catch that.
And they throttle it. And then that's why they're like, oh, MSNBC shows, which never got big views. Nobody was watching MSNBC on YouTube. And all of a sudden, those types of shows got promoted, pushed up there. And all the corporate networks, because cable is dying. Everyone's cutting the cable. Everyone's watching their news on channels like yours and mine and stuff like that. And so YouTube got into bed with them, and then they're throttling us. I mean, if this was the old algorithm before sort of Google took over and started doing all this business with these big corporate networks, I would probably have in the neighborhood of 150 to 200,000 subscribers, and I'd be averaging 20, 30,000 views a video.
Easy.
Now it's like I get 2,000, 5,000. If something really pops, it'll pop over 10,000 views, and there's throttle. I've had people tell me they've been unsubscribed from my channel numerous times. Every time I go live, and I mean every time I go live, all these people go, I didn't get a notification. Some people get a notification. So YouTube won't even notify all of your subscribers, which is like insane to me.
Yes.
Because why are you subscribing to something if you didn't want to know when they go live or drop a new video? So
let me pause you right there, okay? Because that's a great point, and I know why that is. So let me just explain to everybody why YouTube does that. YouTube siphons off viewers from people like me and people like Graham so that they can redirect you back to their main splash page. Their main splash page will push the shows like Colbert, or people like John Oliver. And hey, nothing wrong with those guys, but those are the money channels where they are getting paid per view. YouTube is making the most money, and that is how business works. Unfortunately, back in 2011, 2012, that was the business plan, and we have been suffering ever since. I just wanted to explain that to everybody so they understand. I've been watching that through a website called Social Blade. Have you heard of them?
No, I have not.
Oh boy! Oh, Graham. When you go to your channel on Social Blade, you're going to cry. Social Blade shows you the live view of your subscribers. So you're literally watching YouTube unsubscribe, and then you'll see a couple people subscribe, and as soon as they subscribe, YouTube takes it away. It's this back and forth. I once put a video up of Jimmy Dore. It happened Jimmy Dore Live. I was showing it how they do it on Social Blade, and they subtracted 20 people from him right on my podcast. So it's the mechanisms are already there, and we have mechanisms now to combat it. So I'll share some of those with you. The most powerful one I learned from Ron Placone. This is crazy. He doesn't even realize he's changed my life. But Restream, which allows me to hit multiple channels at the same time from one spot. It puts all the chat in one place for me. And right now we're broadcasting to 6 Facebooks. We're broadcasting to 6 YouTubes, a Twitch channel, a DLive channel, V-Link, and a couple of other places. And it's all from Restream. It's a fantastic service that lets me do that. And there's other things we can do too, like having your audience share indiscriminately and following you on Twitter and all of those fantastic things. But I'm sorry to go on such an aside. Go ahead, Graham.
Well, no, it's good to know that we all, as content creators, all need to know about these various platforms. That's why I'm a big advocate of Rockfin, because it was designed to. It's a like a competing platform to YouTube. It's obviously not as big, but I love it. I've been posting on there for over a year. I now have 9,800 followers on
nice.
Rockfin. It's
blockchain.
10,000. It's a cryptocurrency platform, which is great. And they curate it. Nobody can, not just anyone can join. You have to go through them, and they've curated. So it's like all these great people around the channel, like Ron and Nico House and Convo Couch and Jimmy Dore and Kim Iverson and Richard Medhurst and all these lefties are on there and just alternative media folks. And, you know, it's really starting to grow. And also it's, you know, for $10 a month, people can get access to every content creator's premium content. So you spend 10 American dollars and then they pay us in their own crypto token, the Ray token. And I've just started to get more knowledgeable about crypto. And so it's really, I think crypto is sort of the future, especially it's one of the many ways to be an activist and to resist, is to get out of the centralized banks, like the US dollar is, you know, held by the Federal Reserve and all this. And so anyway, I you know, I don't want to get into some big crypto talk, but it's like those new platforms, you know, Google's clamping down and pushing up the corporate narrative because they realized, look, the internet was the one place they couldn't control the narrative. They can control it all everywhere else. So they had to try to stifle and thwart us on YouTube, which is this fantastic platform. I mean, just from a technical standpoint, it is amazing. And you can upload and all this stuff. So they had to kind of thwart it. So what it's done is, it's, in the long run, I think this is going to be a good thing, because it's going to force, you know, Restream and all these other DLive and all these other platforms are popping up in Rockfin, that it's going to give more power to the content creators. Because that's the thing I like about Rockfin, because it's blockchain, we're all paid in crypto, so it can't be bought out. Google can't just come in.
Right. And
they would have to buy up every single crypto token that they've minted. It's like they couldn't do it. And so they did that by design. The creators of that platform were like, they've worked in other social media platforms and sports and stuff, and they were like, how do we do this to prevent them? And this is it. It's like the person that, whoever came up with Bitcoin, was like, how do we take the power away from these countries and their centralized banks? So
it's the exact same concept. The more options, the more places we have to drop our videos, the less control corporations have over what we say. And controlling our narrative has become the game, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes. It's so critical. I mean, especially, you just see it. I mean, you know, the Trump crowd, you know, their narrative is pretty well controlled by Fox News and by, you know, even the sort of Alex Jones type.
Well, that is such a scary thought. Let me tell you something. You know, when I'm telling Donald Trump what to do, he pays attention, because we're snorting only a half a line of super male vitality, because it's so ultra potent, my friend. That is why. Go ahead.
That's a fantastic Alex Jones impression. But yeah, so you see, and what the ruling class is doing is keeping us divided. They want us fighting with each other. They want us divided, distracted, and afraid. So they feed this narrative. You know, if you watch Fox, it's all about stay scared, white America. The blacks and the Antifas are going to come into your neighborhood. You know, so they got to keep everybody scared. And then, you know, the MSNBC, CNN crowd, you know, it's Russia, you know, that insane narrative. And it keeps everybody divided and distracted. You know, if these guys, these Second Amendment, many of them white nationalists, you know, who showed up to seize the Capitol building in Michigan, had they done that rather than just because they wanted to get a haircut and not wear a mask, which was completely misguided, had they done that like, oh, we want union wages, we want all of these billionaires who have made insane profits during this lockdown. I mean, Walmart, Amazon, these companies are making crazy money, and it's not like they're making crazy money and then they're like, oh, we're going to unionize our workers, we're going to give them hazard pay. No, they fire people like, you know, strike organizer Chris Smalls. And so they got it. They need to push this, and I'm not trying to diminish the racism in this country. It's a very racist country we live in, but they're really focusing on, when all the George Floyd stuff started, that first week of the George Floyd protests, my guess is the ruling class went, oh shit, everyone's in the streets. This is the thing they fear the most. Everybody in the street saying, you're done. It's over. We're pulling down these statues. We're coming to your Capitol building. It's over. So then they have to keep everybody divided. So the media really started pushing the race war aspect.
Let me pause you. Let me just pause you. When Rand Paul got confronted, it was a reaction from both the Republicans and the Democrats I saw of just complete fear, because now they know it can happen to them. If it can happen to Rand Paul, it can happen to any of them. That's scary, man. That is scary.
Yeah, there were people setting trees on fire outside of the White House that first week. I mean, it was like there was millions of people in the streets in all 50 states and 18 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like, and many of the people in the protest, it wasn't just, Black Lives Matter and defund the police, which are great. It was like, hey, what about rent? What about food? What about all these things you've taken away from us during this pandemic? And I think they have to keep us divided because, they do a fantastic job of it. I mean, like these Trump supporters, if they think unmarked vans couldn't come snatch them up off the streets, they're delusional.
Right.
The Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd, is like, thinks this is only Trump's doing. And they don't want to look at the fact that, like, Obama had federal cops beat the shit out of people, snatch them up off the street during the Occupy movement. It happened at Standing Rock. It happened in cities like Baltimore during the Freddie Gray protest.
Didn't he drop a bomb on an American citizen and killed his son too?
I mean,
oops.
Obama and Vice President Joe Biden wrote the NDAA in December of 2011, which gave the feds authority to just snatch up without any due process, without any probable cause or anything.
Were you on that? Were you on that back then when he signed it? Were you freaking out? Because I was. I did a podcast about it. Were you aware of that when it was going on?
When it first happened, I wasn't as aware back then as I am now.
We were screaming. We were screaming, what is going on? And do you know what my whole thing was? Barack Obama is politically correct, and he's you could kind of trust him if you just kind of take him as a whole. But who's the next president going to be? And that's what I kept saying, is we don't know who the next president's going to be, and how are they going to abuse being able to take away the fact that you have you're a terrorist, so you have no rights. We're going to lock you up, and you can't call a lawyer. You have no rights. It is and we sat there and we were so quiet about it. There was silence from both sides, and I thought, this is the beginning of the insanity. This is the beginning of the insanity. Mm-hmm. And this was, I want to say it was 2014, but I don't know what year that was. It was a scary year for me.
He signed the NDAA in December of 2011.
Oh, it was back then. It was back then in 2011. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It was way back then.
He kept extending the Patriot Act and did all these things. And
so long ago.
He took us from 2 wars to 7.
It's the gradual transformation that we don't notice. Yeah. You take one of these, and the next thing you know, it's not a slippery slope anymore. We're flying, Yeah.
And he basically handed Trump a dictator's handbook and said, here's a crazy guy who's going to have control of it. Now it's worse.
So hey, let's put his VP in there, right? And he's going to fix everything, right? We'll just go back to we'll just go back to that. Everything will be fine. So it's, the politics drives me crazy, Graham, and my head feels like it's going to explode. And that's why I made this new movement called MAGA, Make America Get Along Again, because when we sit and we discuss how crazy it is, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans who are in power, at some point we have to remember that we got to stop balling up our fists and punching each other in the faces and maybe just go back to talking again. And I don't mind having the conversation. It does drive me crazy. I don't mind it at all. We can talk forever, and I hope that we do start talking again. But I just want people to start realizing that this was the thing I realized about sports. I've always been anti-sports on my show, and I've always said how stupid sports are. But then yesterday, I had this great realization about sports. They teach people how to lose.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I played team sports starting as a young kid and into high school and even into college. And that is a very valuable lesson of, like, how to lose. and ask yourself, what did we do? Did we not work hard enough? Did we not train? What mistakes did we make? Or sometimes you gave everything you got and the team was just better. And you went, okay. And it is a valuable, I think team sports are a valuable lesson. Now on the professional level, it's, of course it's capitalism on steroids, literally and figuratively. I mean, it's just the corporate money and pushing the war machine and all this other crap. But just at its core, team sports can teach you these things, but it also, we fall into this because we're so pro sports and corporate America has basically owns all of pro sports. We fall into this team mentality of, well, I'm on this team, I'm the Republican team or I'm the Democrat team. So if my team cheats, I'm going to look the other way. If your team cheats, I'm going to be outraged, rather than, hey, if my team's cheating, it disintegrates the game. It's bad. I don't want to watch. I'm a Cubs fan. I'll use this as an example. I don't want to watch if the Cubs cheated the way the Houston Astros did. Some of your fans might know this. It's a big thing that came out over the offseason. The Houston Astros were sign stealing and they cheated, and it was like, wow. And I thought to myself, if I found out the team that I liked did that, I don't know if I'd want to root for them anymore.
Right.
And so, but too often we just fall into this. Well, that's my team. It's okay that, well, everyone cheats. They just got caught, or whatever the thing is. And we see that mentality into the Democratic Party. They scream and yell about the gerrymandering by the Republicans and the cheating, which the Republicans absolutely cheat. But then you go, well, what the Democrats cheat in their own primary? And they go, well, come on.
So sports kind of teaches you that cheating's okay if you can get away with it. Sports teaches you that too. Because we see it in pro sports all the time. Someone cheats and it's on camera, the ref misses it, and your team ends up losing. And you're like, well, that was kind of messed up. But then what do you got to do? You got to accept it. You have to have that acceptance. Yeah. And look, brother, I know that this is not someone walking away with a trophy. These are people's lives. People are dying. And it's worth getting in the street and protesting and saying, this is wrong. It's worth marching. It's worth carrying signs. And it's worth getting as many people as we can to get that message out there. And I am all for it. I just want the violence to stop, and I want people to stop destroying property and hurting each other. But man, I would be out there marching if I had the balls that I see that these kids have today. I'm so proud to see people out there exercising their right. It just makes me so, and I have no excuse. I'm an hour and a half, 2 hours away from San Francisco. I'm an hour and a half away from Sacramento. I mean, I can get in my car and drive and march, but I'm petrified, man. I'm petrified to go out in the street. I see what people do to each other, and if people were nicer, I'd be more inclined to go out there and be part of the masses if people were not so violent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly. On the one hand, it is, and I've been to a fair amount of protests in LA. I was at one also too in Santa Monica that went off the rails because the cops showed up in way too much force and instigated it, and then looting started and rioting, and it got really violent. And I saw that, and I saw the National Guard roll in, and I was like, oh God. And and I also see a lot of I feel the same. Like the people, the millennials and the Gen Z, man, they're at the forefront. They're out there. There's people of all age groups, but they're really at the forefront, and I give them credit. They're not taking it anymore. They just ain't having it, and they're not really. They didn't grow up watching corporate media the way we did. They've grown up, getting all their information on this. So they're like, nah, Biden, whatever. I don't like Trump, and if Biden wins, great. But they're like, well, the Democratic Party, they're not excited about them. They just are done with the whole system. And that gives me hope. And I see a lot of people doing a lot of positive things and getting more involved than they've ever been involved, which gives me hope. But yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm scared that factions on all sides, the groups that are like, well, we got to arm up, be they right or left. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I don't think people really realize, well, I'll just tell you, Americans don't know what having a civil war on their soil is.
Brother, someone said on Twitter the other day, someone said, we're in the middle of a civil war, and I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed. You're right. They don't know what a civil war is, man. It's hilarious.
I mean, we're ramping up to it. We're getting really close. These are all the events that lead into it, and there's violence and people have been shot on both sides, and it's awful. And
yes,
scary,
and it's wrong, and we need to grow up, and we need to start treating each other with more respect and be kind to each other. I get that from you, man. I get that from you. Being kind to other people, it's helped me a lot watching you. I learned that from you.
Oh, thanks, man. It's important because I have, I see some of this police brutality, and then I see like what some of these white nationalists have done, and I get filled with pure rage, and I go to that place and I think, well, my uncles fought Nazis in World War II, and so that's what we're gonna, and I can feel that inside of me, and I also feel like how destructive that can be, and I'm just like, I'm not going to embrace that. I mean, I grew up watching Star Wars, so I'm not going to embrace the dark side, man.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to embrace the light, and I'm not going to let anybody like put their hands on me, but I'm not going to go out and instigate. I'm not going to get a weapon. And I agree. If we were nicer and kinder and were willing to listen, I'm not excusing the behavior of some of these Trump supporters that are clearly white nationalists and they say some pretty awful things, but let's ask how and why. And much of it, and some of them might be just too far gone. I don't know. But some of them are just, these are working class white people who have been abandoned by this country. Working class people of all ethnicities have been abandoned by this country. They've been abandoned by both parties because both parties are run by the ruling class. Now, Trump came in and said some things that resonated with these people. I didn't believe Trump. You and I didn't. Many others didn't. But it resonated with these folks, and they've been like, we've been pushed aside for too long, and now we're pissed off. And the Democrat solution is just to say Russia, 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 rather than like unite people on a labor front. I mean, I always go back to...
It's such a distraction. Go ahead.
It is such a distraction. It's such a distraction. And it's all a distraction. And the Democratic Party, if they really wanted to defeat Trump, they could attack him on very legitimate things. His handling of the pandemic.
No. They would have needed Bernie. No, I'm sorry, Graham. They would have needed Bernie Sanders to do it. They would have needed his platform. That's the popular thing, and we both know that. But I want to stop this conversation, and I want to just kind of do this for a second, okay?
Okay.
A very smart woman named Candace Owens, right? That's kind of funny, isn't it? Once said that we can't have Medicare for all because we can't afford it. And I know that that's not true. I know that Medicare for all costs less than our current system. Can you talk about that for a second?
Well, yeah, that's part of it too. And this is the thing: if we were to really unite people, it would be united on issues like this. So the how are we going to pay for it is a lie told to us through the propaganda of the corporate media. Because who buys ad time on the corporate media? Pfizer, Merck Pharmaceuticals, Anthem, Blue Cross, all those folks. The healthcare industry does not want Medicare for all, because Medicare for all means they can't charge whatever they want. And so this notion that first of all, there's so many, I don't even know where to begin. We can't afford that. Well, and people say, how are we going to pay for it? I go the same way we pay for all these ridiculous wars. The Federal Reserve just prints money and pays for it with the trillions of dollars we spent on war. How about that? That's how we pay for it. Not to mention, like, if you want to,
get out of Afghanistan? You mean like get out of Afghanistan? How much money does that cost?
19 years.
I don't know, man.
We've spent $5 to $9 trillion roughly on the global war on terror over the last 19 years. How about that? How about companies like Amazon that pays $0 in taxes? How about they just pay taxes? How about that?
I agree.
So
how about rich people pay taxes?
Yeah, how about that?
That would be great.
How about stop, outspending the next 10 countries combined on war? How about the democratically controlled Congress stop continually approving Trump's war budget increases? Like, how about that? How about, the $21 trillion that the Pentagon just lost?
Well, yeah, where'd that money go?
How about,
I don't know where'd that money go. It just disappeared. Wasn't that crazy? Did anyone get fired for that? I'm just kind of, it's like, isn't it funny how they covered it for like a month? We heard about it and then nothing. And there's like, okay, so we lost everything. We just lost the entire economy. What?
Hold on. Huh?
Oh, we could have ended homelessness. We could have ended hunger. We could have, everyone could have Medicare for all. We could have had universal basic income with all of that money. We could have had it all.
Yeah. But and again, even taking all those, just take since the pandemic. So instead of the $4.25 trillion that was given to Wall Street in the CARES Act, how about that money pays for healthcare? Bernie's healthcare plan was, what was it?
Man, let me interrupt you for 1 second. Let me just tell you something. Pentagon, it's a Pentagon. You know what it really is? It's a 5-sided manhole cover that slides over into a giant gaping hole where all of the money has fallen into. And then they take that thing and they slide it back over. They just pour the money down in that hole.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, man, like if you started talking to people on these and comment, I try to comment people with they've been propagandized either by the right, look, they use the Second Amendment and family values in the Bible to get conservative voters to vote against their own interests, and they get identity politics to get, liberal voters to vote against their own interests. So when you come at somebody knowing they've been propagandized from one of those two playbooks, then you can kind of say, but what about, and start showing them we have the money for all of this. We have the money for all of this. We're the richest country in the history of the world. We could end homelessness today. We could give, free college today. Boom. When I was in Iraq and Afghanistan as a comedian, I did 7 different comedy tours in both of those countries and Kuwait. I met so many people who were like on their second or third deployment. And I was like, why did you re-up? And they're like, no jobs where I'm at. There's no jobs. There's a Walmart, there's a closed factory, or there's being a drug dealer, dealing opioids and shit like that. So I got a $20,000 re-enlistment bonus from the Army. That's why I'm back here. Guys would say, well, I'm here for the money. I thought I'm here for the money because there's no jobs back home. So we could fix so many problems if we just stopped this, kleptocracy run by oligarchs and this, never-ending war budget. We could fix so many problems if we just stop being this evil imperialistic empire and actually be, this is going to sound crazy, a representative democracy for the people.
Wow, brother. All right, so I've got some different topics I want to go over. This one is just, every time I tune into your show, I just sit back and I listen, man, and I'm like, it never ends. You could literally talk about this forever because it's so insidious that we have watched this happen. And they say we're near the end of capitalism. Have you heard this? We're in the late stages of capitalism. Oh man, this is the first time I had heard it. I think I just heard it this morning or something. I'm like, oh boy, I haven't heard about this one yet. So that's not good. But neither is our climate situation. And that's what, I love to quote you when you say it's the single most important topic to discuss today. Because I heard you say that a while back on a podcast. I think that was more than a year ago. But I follow this guy's name is Dr. Guy McPherson, and he is from Arizona University, or I think it's Arizona or Phoenix University, one or the other. Professor Emeritus Climate, and he's done this movement on the internet where he's educated people about what's going on with CO2 levels and what's going on with ice melt, and he's identified over 60 global climate feedback loops. Do you understand what a global climate feedback loop is, Graham?
In a very general sense. I've heard that a lot. I did it on a cursory sense.
So you've got a mic in your hand. So have you ever held a microphone up to a speaker and heard it squeal?
Mm-hmm.
That's a feedback loop right there. So, and it's self-feeding, so it gets louder and louder and louder until the amplifier cuts out or can't handle the noise anymore, or gets to a point where your ears will shatter. Well, the weather does this. The climate does this. And there's very basic things that are going on, and the problem is they're interacting with each other. And Dr. Guy McPherson has identified them to such a point to where the scientists that are studying these individual loops aren't even aware of their interactions with the other ones. And it all just is speeding up our situation. It's all just exponentially speeding up our situation. So he's a very interesting guy to listen to. I highly recommend you check him out. He's got a group on Facebook. It's called Nature Bats Last. It's a little morbid. He's got a book. I've got it right here. He wrote this book. It's called Dancing at the Edge of Extinction. And he explains just about everything. It's Only Love Remains, it says at the top. I'm literally holding up the book to the microphone so you can all hear the book. I haven't been using any cannabis on this live stream. I'm holding the book up to my microphone. Only Love Remains. And I'm telling you, it's a book that just kind of gets you into the acceptance of it all. You know, it helps you with acceptance. He explains it all and says, look, you know, we would love to have the Green New Deal come in there, and I would too, man. I would love to do everything right, just to see if anything would happen. But I'm going to tell you about Thunderfoot now. This is, I mentioned him just for a second to you before we started the show. Thunderfoot is a scientist on YouTube, and almost everyone that watches my show is aware of who he is now. I play his videos on here all the time. He's so entertaining. But it's Thunderfoot with 2 zeros in his name. So it's F00T. And that's how you find him on YouTube. And he's also on Twitter. He's got a video, and it is, it's depressing, man. It's really depressing. You know, there's a few movements out right now where they are attempting to have people plant trees all around the globe to try to combat CO2, so we can start undoing all of the damage we've done. He very simply in this video explains that there's no amount of trees that we would ever be able to plant right now that would have any effect on the amount of CO2. In fact, he says that none of us that are alive today, not even a baby that's born today, will experience a fall in CO2 levels. It's going to keep going up until the extinction of humanity. CO2 is going to keep going up. And he gives you the reasons, and he says why, and he kind of just glazes over it really fast. But Guy McPherson explains it too. We don't have a lot of time left, Graham. What are you going to do about it? You got any plans for the future, for the near future?
No, we don't. We don't have a lot of time. And there's report after. I mean, there was the UN report that came out 2 years ago that basically said we have 12 years. We have until 2030. That was back then. So now we have less than 10 years to drastically reverse climate change. Otherwise, we're doomed. And I'm not trying to be naive or, refute what Thunderfoot says or anything like that. I've just come across, there are some things out there that I don't know.
That look promising. Right.
They look promising. So there's 2 things that I've come across, 2 videos that I've done. One is about they found algae that can pull CO2 out of the air at 400 times the rate of a tree. There's this algae system. I did a whole video on it. There's also the Oliveria, I forget, it's a mineral that's kind of green in hue that's very abundant on this planet. And if you put it on sandy beaches, what it does is it pulls CO2 out of the air and then buries it under the bottom of the ocean. Now, this is a process that naturally happens, but it usually takes about 1,000 years. If you put this mineral on a bunch of beaches, it can do it in about 2 to 3 years. So there are, and I think there's more solutions out there. Planting if trees were our only hope, I believe what Thunderfoot said would be true. But still, the seriousness is this needs to happen on a mass scale, and there needs to be real. I mean, it needs to be mass produced. There needs to be money put behind it, and all this stuff. And that's why we need a real Green New Deal. So I have a sliver of hope that it's possible. The fact that people who say it's not possible at all, I just don't.
Let me offer you someone else that I want you to check out on YouTube. His name is Just Have a Think. Just Have a Think on YouTube. He's the opposite. He's the optimistic view of climate. He's another scientist, and you're going to love this guy. He offers information along the lines of what you just mentioned. He is optimistic, and he feels like science is going to prevail. And Thunderfoot, I don't think Thunderfoot believes that we're going to go extinct as quick as the science that he presents says it is. I think that he also believes that we're going to come up with a solution. Look, if we were to pass the Green New Deal and we were to put billions of dollars into research, I could totally see something happening, man. You know, the kid might be born tomorrow who figures it all out and solves it and saves the human race. I'm all for it, man. I really am. I really do support the Green New Deal, and I hope that there's a lot of money designated to more research into the types of things that you're mentioning and the types of things that I see on Just Have a Think. I mean, if you don't remember the name of his channel, hit me up. I'll remind you. Just Have a Think. You're gonna love watching his show, man. He's very entertaining. It's short, like 15, 20-minute videos. Where it's all, he backs everything up with science and documentation, and he's very he's got his little quirks, he's another English guy. There's something about these English scientists, I just kind of dig them on YouTube, I guess. Maybe
I think too, I share that belief, and I don't know that it's going to be this single bullet one. We're going to come up with this one thing that fixes all of it. It might be a bunch of different things. It might be this algae and this olivary, and other parts of the world are going to need these solutions. It's going to be, banning single-use plastics. It's going to be using plant-based stuff for plastic. It's going to be a whole number of things. I mean, look what has happened. It wasn't the intention of it, but the whole shutdown, because of the pandemic, the air quality got better and around the world, especially like LA where I'm living, was air quality got completely better just because they were shutting everything down. So it showed me this was a global effort to fight COVID-19. And yes, you can argue this country, the US has made mistakes, other countries have made mistakes, whatever, but there was still a global effort to try to stop this. And if we applied that energy to preventing the extinction of the human race, which is what will happen if climate collapse is unchecked, and it could happen in our lifetimes. It's it might not happen till 21, whatever.
Right.
It might be we might not see the year 2050 or 2040. So, I think if everybody got involved and stopped with the war and the killing each other and the fighting over all this nonsense, and just went all hands on deck with saving the planet, we would come up with solutions.
Here, let me tell you.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say, in the early weeks or months of the pandemic, little kids were making masks because we were short on PPE. And I remember seeing some guy in Texas just started making ventilators and sent them to New York and Boston where the numbers were going through the roof. And I just thought that spirit, that work together, that ingenuity, some guy in a small Texas town going, we're sending ventilators to New York, and the whole community came in and started assembling these things. That attitude, that spirit, which has now been denigrated by the ruling class to make us fight with each other. And but if everybody worked together, we could solve it. So it's really, I really sound like a dad at this point. You guys want to work together?
We all have to start acting like dads now. We all have to.
Yeah. It's all right, you guys can't get along? It's over.
Let me ask you this. Did you realize that California just hit 2 million acres burned? We are now broke the record for most acres burned in a fire season ever in the history of the state. And Graham, it gets worse. We are entering the 2 hottest months of the season where usually the worst fires break out. We haven't even gotten into them yet, September, October. And we've already broken the record.
In the 3.5 years I've been doing this show, every fall I say we just broke a record. I've said that on my show every fall that I've been doing Political Vigilante. We just broke, and it's like, and I'm like, and I said it last year or the year before that. When are we gonna do something about this? So now a third of the state and the country, for that matter, is not working. We're facing 28 million evictions. We just hit 120 degrees in Woodland Hills.
We're
in the
that is crazy.
I mean, that's
cooking egg on the street.
Degrees, 25 degrees above average. I mean, in August, September, it's not, 95 degrees. Maybe it hits 100, 120. I mean, that's not healthy. That's awful.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now we've got 2 million acres burned. I mean, what are we gonna? We better get on it, man. I mean, I did a video last year when Australia was having its worst fire
Right.
season ever, and I had a
Right.
map of like huge portions of Australia. Now, Australia is a continent that is about the size of the continental United States, and it was awful. And I'm not minimizing what the people of Australia went through, but they have 26 million people spread out on this whole big continent. So we have 300 million people. And if we come to those types of fires, you're talking about look what happened to, what was it, San Ramon, I forget what city 2 years ago, just got
Santa
fired.
Santa Rosa?
Santa Rosa, that's right, Santa Rosa. So that's going to happen, but it's going to happen to Sacramento. It's going to happen to Phoenix. It's going to happen, what's it going to take? The whole West Coast
This is what's crazy.
I mean,
someone made the comment. They're like, once it all burns down, they said, won't it stop? And I said, unfortunately, no, because this is what happens. All of that wood that burns, it becomes ash. It gets into the ground and plants all the scrub. It grows right back. It grows twice as fast. And you have all these small trees. When another fire comes through, there's plenty of fuel within just a few years. It's not going to stop.
No, and so we better get on it. We better figure out, I'm just watching a video on geoengineering and stuff like that. I don't know, some of it sounds like science fiction, but some of it, can we create rain cloud? I don't know we better get on it, man.
We created rain in Vietnam. We created rain in Vietnam.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know about that. We actually did that.
So
it's possible.
I mean there's a lot of, we got to come with all hands on deck. I mean, we dealt with COVID-19. We're trying to figure out every little angle to figure it out, and quarantine and masks and gloves and all this stuff. And we've gone to all this stuff, we've gone to a digital economy because nobody wants to exchange cash. I mean, we figured all these things out. Some things we haven't figured out yet, but we better treat climate, because let me tell you something, we can fix everything else. We can fix racism in this country. We can get we can get everything fixed. Equality, police, defund the police, and restructure. We can do all those. We fix all those things, but we don't fix the environment. It won't matter.
What does it matter, right? Well, hey, at least we go out on a good note. Don't you like ending on a high note? I got to end on a high note. I got them laughing. I'm walking out.
Hello?
Little George from Seinfeld.
Yeah. Well, dude, it was. Thanks for having me on your show. I know it's like.
I love
the
having
thing
you
I
on
want to
here.
leave people with.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's good to have these discussions, and I know some people go, "Oh my God, it's all doom and gloom," and that's where I want people to stop. Yes, it's serious. Yes, if we don't do something, it's all over. But then use that not as a well, I'm just going to go get, whatever. I'm going to quit. I'm going to just check out, YOLO, I'm out. This is the motivation of we can do something. There are options out there. They're already in existence. They just need money on a mass scale, not to mention the thing we haven't created yet. That, like you said, there could be some kid in school right now who's going to come up with something, or some scientist has been working on something for decades and they finally cracked the code on it or whatever. But even without this, what's going to happen in the future, just take all the things that we already know work and start implementing them on a mass scale. We already knew that wearing a mask is good for infection. We've already, every winter, wash your hands, cough in your sleeve. We've already known all those things. We just implemented them on a mass scale.
Wait, let me pause you right there. Thunderfoot does a great video about masks and why they work. It's not about filtering the virus. People will say, "Oh, the virus can get through." Yes, the virus can get through the mask. It's about limiting that puff of air that you breathe out and limiting the amount of air that you breathe in. That's all. There's less chance of you getting one of those puffs of air that has the virus in it when you're limiting the amount of air that's coming in and out. He explains it so well, and it doesn't limit the amount of oxygen that your blood gets. Yeah, so, I've got mine. It's right here, I believe. I've got a mask sitting right here. We go. I wear it constantly, especially because of the smoke. I'm constantly wearing my mask outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like the solutions are there. We just need them on a mass scale. And I always say to my show, that's why I say get involved on a local level. I believe that climate change is going to need a top-down solution. But that doesn't mean we can't still get in on a grassroots level and get your city council, get real progressives, if not run yourself, get Greens and get socialists and, Movement for a People's Party, get them all on your city council, on your state government, because just waiting for some progressive president to ride in on a white horse and wave their magic wand is like, we don't have time for all that. And the Democratic Party and their corruption, we got to just get it done. Right. So these protests and these general strikes, we need to start having them for the environment.
Right. I agree. And the environment is so important. It is, like Graham says, number one, because like he said, nothing else really matters if we don't have a planet to stand on.
Yep. So we can fix everything else, but we don't fix that, it's over.
There's one other thing I wanted to throw at you. It was, remember what my Shatner song request was for Shatner to do on karaoke on your show? He does karaoke and you guys, he does karaoke in character on his show. It's freaking hilarious. I want you to do William Shatner, Do You Feel Like We Do by Peter Frampton. Do you feel like we do? Yes, we do. Yes.
You.
Yes. It's perfect because of the spacing of the song. It's perfect for Shatner, man. I want to see that.
Shatner's great.
I want to see that on your next podcast, bro.
Will you do that for me next time you're?
Oh, I'll remind you. I will definitely remind you. When are you going to be live again?
Well, I'll be live tonight for Rockfin. So Monday nights I do for the Rockfin premium members. So it's like if you want to join rockfin.com/Graham.
I'm already joined. It's Graham Elwood. Say it again. I'm sorry, I was talking over you. Say it again.
It's okay. Rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. And if you just signing up for Rockfin's free. And then if you want premium content, it's $10 a month. And then I'll be live tomorrow on YouTube as well.
Can we just get something straight with Doc Holland? You've seen Doc Holland tweeting on Twitter? He's great. You've liked some of his tweets, Graham. You know what?
Okay.
It's Graham. Okay, it's Graham, Doc. It's not Graham. Like he's not like a unit of measurement. It's not Gram. It's Graham. Right. There's an H in there, bro, just so you know. I want to make sure when you're tweeting at him, he gets those tweets. So make sure it's Graham.
Yes, thank you for that.
Now that I've said Doc Holland, you're going to see him all the time. You're going to be like, oh, Doc Holland. Yes. I better let you go. I'd keep you on. I'm kind of sneaky, and I could just kind of figure out a way to keep you, but I'll let you go.
Well, dude, it was great to have that. Thanks for having me on the show, and I appreciate you coming on our live chats. And to your audience, just subscribe to the channel. I go live on YouTube 4 days a week, and then Mondays I do Rockfin. So there's always great content. Come on, and it's like I've really tried to build like a community of lefty progressives, and it's really cool to have everybody on the chat. People ask great questions, and we have great discussions, and even really good debates. And so I like the whole community of people, of like activists and people that want to, be proactive in terms of making the world better. So thanks for helping out with that.
Your .com, you have a website?
GrahamElwood.com.
It's easy. Yep. There you go, guys.
GrahamElwood.com. Get a hold of all my stuff.
Excellent. Thank you, brother. I will see you so soon. Your head's going to be spinning.
Thanks, dude.
Okay. Hell yeah, shave your knuckles for justice, my friend. Are you kidding me? I still got hair on mine. There we go. And I love the way you hold the fist up and you end the live streams, bro, while your fist is up. Oh, dude, that is just like, it's got like that consistency. I love that every time. Boom, put the fist up, end the live stream.
Boom. I love it.
Yep. I'm not watching.
All right, dude,
I'm not watching or nothing.
Well, you have a great afternoon, and thanks to all your audience.
Thank you.
All right, dude.
Okay.
Later.
Peace, brother. If he doesn't know how to get out of the Zoom chat, I'm just going to leave him in it. Oh, let's close the Zoom. Wait, you guys want to come in the Zoom? You guys can come in the Zoom. Here. There's the Zoom chat. If you guys want to come in the Zoom, come on in, guys. Come join us. Join me. Join me in smoking some cannabis and celebrating Graham Elwood's video here of this. I want to say I was reading your... Oh, we're all here, all four of us, and we like to sing 4 notes for you to hear. Look at all of these people, we're having so much fun. That is just really weird. That is really weird. Nope, nobody wants to come into Zoom. That's cool. That's cool. You don't have to come into Zoom if you don't want to. We can just chill like we normally do. We can just chill. I don't mind chilling. I don't mind chilling, yo. I know that was trippy, right? So, Graham is fantastic, man. I had him before we started the show for just a minute or two, and we just chatted just a little bit. And it's every time I have someone like that face to face in a chat, I've got so many personal questions for them, and I don't ask them on the live stream. I want to ask him so much stuff that I just don't think you guys would be interested in hearing or whatever. But I've just got so many questions, and it's like I try to not ask him anything personal, just in case there is something that we can go over on the live stream. I don't want to just kind of, make him talk about it twice or whatever. I had only mentioned Thunderfoot, but it's really nice to hear I wouldn't say that Thunderfoot is a glass half empty kind of guy. He's a science guy. He just goes by the facts, and it's true. Grant, if somebody comes along and solves the problem, then the problem's solved and it's fixed. But as of right now, it's not. And, that would be a great question for Thunderfoot and for Just Have a Think. What are the chances you guys think that someone is going to come up with some sort of a scientific solution that is going to solve our CO2 rise problem on this planet? Will someone come up with that? And if not, hey man, it's like Graham said, there's a very slim chance. He said it, man. Graham said it. There's a very slim chance. I totally agree. He posted something about YouTube. Yeah, I know. I saw it, man. YouTube pulled down one of his videos, demonetized him. He was not happy. He took a little get used to. Yeah. When you realize what Graham has accomplished, it's like if you go and you research what Graham has done, you go and watch the movie Earbuds, go watch that movie. And then it's you're like, whoa, that's Graham Elwood. That's the guy who wrote and produced that freaking movie. Go watch the movie, and then you'll be like, whoa, yeah, man, I should ask him that, man. I know it's a pay for that. I'd love to show you guys clips of that movie. I would love to show you guys clips from Earbuds, but I'm sure I would get copyright problems, you know? Oh, you guys gotta just go see the movie. It's Earbuds. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but it is definitely on YouTube, and you can purchase it for rent or to buy. I bought it on YouTube. I have full access to that movie. I can pull it up right now and watch it for free. Now, well, because I paid $13 for it, it wasn't free, but I bought it. It's $11 or $13. I didn't care. I wanted it, and I didn't care. I didn't even know what I was going to interview Graham Elwood. I didn't care what was in the movie. I wanted to do a little research on him, and then I watched the movie, and then I was like, whoa. That guy Graham, not Graham, idiot. Doc! Hey, Doc. Doc, did you like that I brought your name up to Graham Elwood? Did you like that? Did you like that? Let me tell you why I did that. Doc, you go out of your way for me on Twitter every freaking day, bro. You go out of your way for me so hardcore. And you do it right. And you know how to get them, bro. You put up the pictures. You tweet my fucking show at them. You tell them what to look for in my show or why they should be watching it. You use your words, man. I had to mention you. I couldn't keep you, thrown under the bus. You didn't know I followed Graham Elwood until I mentioned him? Graham, it's 7:10, everybody. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't tisms for all. I'm smoking that orange bud. I love how when I'm smoking and talking to Graham and I keep eye contact with him while I'm smoking, because I don't want him to think I'm not paying attention to what he's saying. Let me tell you something. That's not easy to do. It's like you kind of got to find your lighter. You got to find everything. You got to pay attention and you got to listen. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't tisms for all. I'm sure it's one of those times, but I'm not going to look away. Cannabis isn't tisms for all. Happy 710. Cyber style. Never lose eye contact, everybody. Cheers. God, that's hard to do. Go back. Go back. Nick, go back to the Zoom. Everybody come to the Zoom. Everybody come to the Zoom room. Yeah, I smoked right at 420. I did that on intentionally. He was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt him, I was trying to look for the perfect opportunity. 420 was almost up, and I was like, I got to get on this. I got to smoke this. Zoom room! Come to the Zoom room! Why didn't I hear the ding? Everybody come to the Zoom room. Everybody come to the Zoom room. There's the link. You can't see it from Facebook, but anywhere else but Facebook, if you're viewing this, come on, there's 42 of you watching. Come on, people. Come on, Zoom room. Zoom. Oh, there we go, Nick. Nick made it. Oh, Nick. Oh, Nick, it's so good to see ya. Oh, there you are. Hello, brother.
Okay, I got it.
Fuck yeah, you do. Okay.
What's up, man?
Fuck yeah, what's up, son? So good to see you.
Yeah, now you see my real face. I'm not so much of a troll, you know?
I know, it's great, man. I love to get to know you guys like this. You know, it means a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you started out, I'll interview you. You started out, you saw me in a troll group. Was it the couch auction?
Yeah, it's been like 3+ years, though.
When you were, hey, it's Eddie. When you were in the couch auction group, how many people were members in that group at the time?
That I really don't know. Like, I don't know who all came from the same group. Cause I know there's a lot of people that come from the group, and they met you. Like, anytime I would share, I would see familiar people. Like that one guy here recently, Bobby something. He was around for a little while. At first, he was really corny and shit, and then he seemed cool and he pulled his corny shit. But
yeah, because it's the only thing you know to call me on Facebook.
I got blocked after that for opening my big fat fucking mouth. You know, that was my fault. But,
hey, say hey to Eddie.
For a while.
Say hey to Eddie, bro. He's in here with us.
What's up, Eddie? I don't see him in any of the windows.
Eddie, you got your
mic. Be my end, though.
You got your microphone on, brother?
Am I clear? Am I echoing?
No, you sound perfect, man. You sound fucking perfect.
I got my trucker headset on.
Eddie so's muted.
But now
here, I'm gonna ask him to unmute. That'll be a button.
When I first started watching you, I was working with my brother, and my brother said, "Man, why do you watch that shit?" I said, "Man, educate the world, you know."
There he is. What's up, son?
What's up, Eddie?
Look at that beard. What? Look at that beard on that boy.
Damn.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Damn right, son. We're smoking, huh?
These Zoom meetings are pretty cool.
I'm gonna go in grid mode, man. There we go. I'm gonna get a new shot here so we can see everybody simultaneously. I think that'll work like that.
Hell yeah. Cowboy boots or cowgirl boots?
Oh yeah, it's my daughter's shoes.
Hell yeah.
Christina. Come here, baby.
There's one trendy that lives close to me, that James McGill guy. I need to go meet him.
Yeah, James does podcasting on Facebook. He's got his own show going on.
Yeah, I need to go meet him.
Christina.
All right, Doc Holland. Yeah, you might need to download the app, the Zoom app. Did you guys have to download? Hey, Christina, did you guys have to download the app?
Yeah, I haven't downloaded
the app for like 2 years.
Yeah, download the app, Doc. What's up, Doc? Cyber style. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis is for all children.
Mine's a torch. I can't do cyber style.
I got a vape pen. It works.
I'm trying to work on mine.
Hell yeah.
My barrel's clogged, so I gotta take it apart.
I hate them fucking things, man. I don't have the patience for them. I break them. They work for the first time, you know, then I charge it, then it won't recharge, or then it gets clogged, and then I fucking break it, or I have really bad luck, so I just stick with the water bong. It's so much easier, hassle-free.
That whole the vape shit back like 8 or 9 months ago, when people were getting sick from the vitamin E acetate stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It
That was
freaks me
bad.
out still. Every time I hit one of these cartridges, man, it freaks me out. I don't know why.
Yeah, man,
quit
that was
smoking
scary.
a long
I
time
remember.
ago.
Remember, Donald Trump was talking about banning vape pens, flavored vape pens. That was a big
That's why
deal, man.
I know this sounds bad, but that's where I just totally said, fuck Trump. Because
Wow.
I'm a vapor, and then for him to attack that and then guns at that one point in time, that pissed me the fuck off, dude.
Yeah, once it affects you, you know, it's not easy to support someone once literally their policy affects you personally. I totally understand that.
And then I live in a state where, like, everybody's a Trump supporter, so if I say anything, oh, I'm the bad guy, you know, I don't give a fuck, though, fuck them. I mean, if I say fuck Trump and they don't like it, then fuck them.
God, man.
It's like the whole Herman Cain thing. Look, I live in Atlanta, and Herman Cain was on the radio every day, and I listen to talk radio. I've been like that since I was a kid. You know, I always listen to WSB talk radio bullshit. But to hear Herman Cain sit there and talk about, oh, it's just a hoax. This is just a virus to get Trump out of thrown out of the White House, and then all of a sudden, bam, he drops dead from it. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like that. I see, like, most of the people that I personally know that has gotten the virus and shit are staunch Trump supporters that always said, oh, it's a hoax. It's nothing to worry about. They're the ones that are getting this shit.
I'm Herman Cain. I didn't die from COVID.
Oh, shucky ducky.
I'm Herman Cain. Oh, I didn't die from COVID. I'm still alive. I'm still tweeting. You know he's still tweeting? He's still tweeting post-mortem.
I got a pneumonia.
You guys know that Herman Cain is still tweeting on Twitter?
I think his wife does all that.
Yeah, it's his wife.
No, I didn't.
It's fucking... And tweeting stuff that says that COVID's, you know, not dangerous, stuff like that. Like, still putting up like... Oh, it's psychotic.
COVID will fuck you up if you get it.
It's fucking... My
I
mom
know
was sick.
one of my good buddies that I was in a group home with, I was in foster care all my life, but one of the guys that I kept in contact with, he was always athletic. He smoked cannabis and all that, but he's always been athletic and just full of energy. Man, he got that shit, and he was on a ventilator for like 8 days. And
That's fucked up, man.
I got in an argument with somebody. They were saying, "Oh, it's a hoax," and I tagged him in it, and he almost unfriended me just because it was like, I don't know if he just was embarrassed that he had this shit or what. But he's like, "Man, don't tell nobody I had that shit." Well, hell, he was on a ventilator, man.
Fucking A.
Yeah, my friend Joey was on it for 9 days.
Fucking 90
It's
days.
crazy, man.
Fuck that shit. Yeah, fuck COVID.
Dude, check this out. This is what freaked me out, is when I was in my early 20s, I had a lung collapse, and it was called a hypopneumothorax. And the first time, they stuck a little small tube up in my chest,
God damn.
and then they fed me oxygen, like purified oxygen in they said the oxygen should raise your lung back up, and it wouldn't. They damn had that little vacuum thing in my chest. They vacuumed my lung back up. And he said, "Oh, you must have took too big of a bong hit." And I said, "You not?" Yes, I did take a bong hit. That ain't what caused my lung collapse. But whenever they poked that shit in my chest, like, you can just smell the fucking...
Like some Pulp Fiction shit? Boom.
Yeah, it was fucked up. But after that, he said, "All right, well, you'll probably be all right after this. Your lungs back up and everything. And it was 7 days that my lung had collapsed again.
Did they they had to reinflate? Was that what they were doing? They were reinflating your lung or something? Is that what they were poking?
Yeah, they pump like pure oxygen inside your lungs, and pure oxygen will cause it to swell. And that's what they thought they would do in the warm. That's what they do with a lot of people that have just a hypopneumothorax. It causes it to expand, and your lung goes back into place. Like you think it's your lung is like a air bubble, but it's not. It's more like a sponge. So whenever it falls and pressure goes against it, it just pushes it down.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to shut the Zoom down because I'm going to close the show down. But thanks for hopping in here.
Hell yeah, man. That's
all right.
Awesome, dude. Let's go hang out. Finally see you
Oh,
guys.
what is that? A trendy ass Dabbers tat? Look at that. Oh, shit. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Doc,
Right,
wait.
Buddy.
Oh, look, Doc's like, what's the meeting ID? Let's give him a second. Oh, well, hang out for a second, guys. Wait, don't run yet. Let's see. Doc says he wanted to jump in. Let's see if he'll jump in.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite chef. I'm gonna show him my knife set. He's gonna fucking shit.
Hell yeah. Nice suit.
Bro, look at that.
Hell yeah.
I need a gong. I need to go. Most honorable knife set. Most honorable
I've
knife
got
set.
China symbols. Hey,
Most honorable.
I play drums, man.
Hit that China. Crash that China symbol for me, son.
That's what I was about to do. I was about to
Crash
hit
that
China.
goddamn China symbol for me, son. I love it. Oh, your mic cut out. That was funny. It was too loud. It cut it out. It was like it sounded like a. It was like it sounded like you grabbed it.
Hold on. Let me hit it soft.
Yeah, it sounded like you grabbed it.
I
It
was
was
gonna send
funny.
you.
That was weird. Most honorable knife set, son. Most honorable.
Come on. I was gonna send you that. I was gonna send you that cowbell, but I sent you a message and you was like, "Hell yeah, send me the cowbell." I was gonna send it to you, but you never. I thought you never responded to me on Facebook. I was still kind of new at the time.
Yeah, you gotta hit me up on Twitter. Cowbell?
Always.
I'll put a cowbell on my drum set. Put a little cowbell. Dude, Doc Holland. Doc Holland, are you coming in here or not, son? I was just about to close out the show. I'm waiting on you. Dude, I almost just cut myself opening this thing. Just caught my fingernail on the edge. Came that close to cutting myself. Oh, it's so dangerous. Oh, what? Look at that. Oh, dude, what? Oh. Oh, man. Look, these ain't for cutting. These are for keeping fucking closed up and far away from my fucking klutz ass. I am just going to fucking end up cutting myself to shreds.
I'm gonna run into Billy one day. Billy Valentine.
Billy!
Because we're always up in his area, like up in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, shit like that, because it's not far from me.
Doc Holland says he can't get through.
One day.
Dude, come on, bro. Keep trying,
He's gonna see
man.
me wearing my fuck you shirt.
Fuck you.
Dude, I got Walmart. Dude, check this shit out. Walmart, I went and tried to go in because I was going to get some chicken feed. It was my last resort. It was a Sunday. And I was wearing my now day shirt, and they wouldn't let me come in. They said, "We can't let you come in because the graphics on your shirt."
Did you flip it? Did you
flip it?
Fizz, flip it inside out? Right, I do it all the time. I flip my shirts inside out. Yeah.
I said, "I'll flip it inside out." He said, "No, we can't have that."
Even if you flip it
I
inside
said,
out?
"Okay, well, I'll take my fucking money somewhere goddamn else."
God damn, bro.
Yeah,
when you flip it inside out, it's totally
in.
black. You can't see it when it's flipped inside out. I go over to my neighbors, I'll flip it
He's
inside out.
stupid.
It only takes
Like
a second.
that shirt, that's why we started going through this bullshit, this police brutality shit, and I was like, that shirt is fucking perfect for right now. I was like, I'm gonna order one right now. So I ordered that, and then my Nate shirt, or my trendy shirt, and I had one. I was wearing the trendy paint oil shirt, and somebody walked up to me. I was at Tractor Supply. I was getting something for the Bobcat, She said, "Oh, that's that cannabis guy."
What?
Trinity is Dabbers. She's like, "Yeah."
Fuck yeah! They recognized me.
So-
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Making me
crazy.
feel
I
all
didn't
famous.
expect nobody, but that's that cannabis guy.
Yeah. Doc says he's got an order of food. He wants to show his culinary skills. I want to show my knife skills, my knife owning skills. Those are my knife owning skills.
Someday I'll have to show you my doing skills.
I saw that little thing on there. I saw that, and I was like, okay, that's the ones I'm getting. It's the ones with that on it. That's it. There was really no question.
Gotcha.
So cool.
Probably back there in the room.
Poor Doc Holland, man. Come on, son. I gotta take the
He's not
dog
getting
out.
in. He probably had to go and download the damn
It says he needs
app
a.
and everything.
It said he needs a meeting ID number.
Oh, I ran into that. All you got to do is back out and then go back to your YouTube where you put the link, click the link, and then just hit open. Open. That's what I had to do.
Just hit it
Oh,
twice,
shit.
Doc. Just do it
I
twice.
just knocked you off.
Just try hopping in there twice. See if the second time works.
Yeah, just back out. Just back out and then click on the YouTube link again after you download the app. I did that and I couldn't join. It worked. Damn, it's still daylight. Where are you at?
I'm in Illinois.
Dude, I'm in North Georgia and it's been dark here for like an hour.
I don't know, I'd say it's daylight out here until about 8:30.
Oh yeah. Usually during the summertime, it don't get dark till about 9:15. But here lately, the days are getting shorter.
Yeah.
Poor Doc.
One
I
day
like
I
the
have to show y'all my plan.
Doc, maybe reset.
Yeah, I was,
Turn your phone off and turn it back on again. Like restart your phone.
I got addicted to this damn modern, or not modern, but Call of Duty is Warzone. They got a plunder mode. So addicted to
Yeah,
that
I've
crap.
heard that.
I had over $900,000. I was playing against everybody else by myself. I didn't have nobody to play with. I had almost 1 million just running around with it. But these past 2 days, they had cars or helicopters or nothing. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there.
I heard they were addressing a glitch where you can go up the dam, and where the other helicopter is at dam, you could run it straight behind it, and it will make it where you could just fly. You're like free flying all through the map and stuff. So it's a glitch they're trying to take care of. That's what I hear. Anyway.
There he is.
Hey, Doc. It's got the paint oil. Okay, you're just gonna have to unmute yourself, brother. So just wait. There's like a connections process for audio, Doc. So just wait about 10 seconds, and then you'll get a message to unmute yourself, probably. There you go. Here, try now. See if you can talk now. Oh, wait. No, not yet. Yeah, wait. You don't have audio yet, but we'll tell you when we can hear you. Where's ask to unmute? Are you muted? Huh. Where did you go? Oh, maybe he just doesn't have a good connection in that kitchen. I bet that's what it is. I don't think you have a good.
It says his audio's not connected.
Was that you?
I think I seen.
Was that you that just said that, Doc?
Yeah, he's got the mask on.
No, I was the one that said.
Oh, that was Eddie.
His audio's not.
That was Eddie talking. Oh, my bad, my bad. Huh. Doc's got to unmute himself. Let me see if there's anything else I can do. More. Stop.
You should be able to slide right on the thing that's on the screen, and then you click on yourself, and you should be able to undo.
Chat.
Move, buddy. Move. Move.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Ask to unmute. Here, I got it. I got it. It said ask to unmute.
You'll be on camera?
Here, he's gonna get the request now, I think. Brother, check your it might be loud in there. He might not be able to hear what we're saying. Hit the unmute button. Hit the unmute button, bro.
And can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. We hear you loud and clear.
Oh, yeah.
I can always hear you
Perfect.
guys. There we go.
Well, I can see you.
It usually takes a few seconds.
I heard something.
Yep, I'm so glad, man. So what are you?
I'm gonna set you guys while I cook.
You got some dish you're gonna show us? What did you cook? What? Does it already go out?
Oh, yeah, he's cooking a lobster up.
What? Whoa. Who's Joe S? Who is Joe S? I don't know who Joe S is.
You don't sound familiar to me.
No, I don't see anybody named Joe S in the chat. No, nobody named Joe S in the chat. Sorry, Joe S.
Hey, Nate, that was a great show tonight.
Thank you, brother.
Every second.
Hell yeah, that interview was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, that was an amazing show.
It was a good one, man. That was awesome.
Joe S laughed when I said that.
You brought up a lot of good players.
I like seeing the interview videos.
It's a nice
The
kitchen.
lives. Yeah. I'm down for all of them. They're all badass, but the interviews are really awesome.
Hey, have you, Nick and Eddie, have you guys ever worked in a kitchen that looked like that? I have. In a hotel.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever worked in a kitchen that looked like that?
I've never worked in a kitchen whatsoever.
God damn, look at that.
Yeah, I worked as a bachelor's hibachi assistant for like a year.
I was a busboy for a restaurant called,
Damn, I wish I could hear you guys better.
oh, it's okay. I was a busboy in a restaurant, man. My best friend worked in the kitchen. And
My old roommate. Oh,
Damn it.
sorry.
you could ice
hotel
ice
Wi-Fi
skate.
is shit.
You could ice skate across the floor. It was so slippery with oil all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, my old roommate, he worked for a place called Roosters, and they like specialize in like wings and stuff like that. You can get anything. But he would come home and his shoes, like the ends of his shoes would curl up because they were so saturated with grease and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you're not gonna slip and break your damn back, are you? He's like, hell, I don't know.
Yeah,
This thing gets pretty slippery.
the main chef actually had fell and had the meat cleaver laying like right next to his face.
I'm hiding my self view so we can see you guys on screen. It'll make your pictures a little bit bigger.
I'm supposed to get the final piece of my 300 blackout tomorrow. I'm happy.
Joe S, I said I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who you were, man. I didn't see you in the chat. You know? Who are you? Actually, really, Joe.
I can't think of a Joe S.
No, Joe, I don't know who you are. Seriously, man. I didn't add you to Zoom
A
because
lot of the trendies I can recognize the name.
I don't know you, bro. I'm not gonna add you because I have no idea who you are. I know who all three of these guys are. I have no idea who the fuck you are. Though, bro.
Where's Enoch and David C. Baker? Where's David Baker at?
David C. Baker Jr.
He would be on the live.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the Soap Girls are live. You know, he might be watching another.
Nay's more important than the Soap Girls. I mean, come on.
Who is the
He
bearded
sends
guy?
me the links to
The
nice
bearded
stuff.
guy
I
is
never really watched.
the bearded guy is the guy with the trendy ass dabbers tattoo on his hand. That's who the bearded guy is, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, dang, look at it. See him, my.
He loved the Soap Girls. Yeah, he does. Look at that kitchen, man.
Running it.
Hell yeah, all by himself, brother. You know, he's the only one back there.
I got props for him because I couldn't do it like that. I mean, I feel like I can cook. Like, I cook some pretty bomb shit, but I couldn't run no kitchen where I'm cooking constantly.
Here's where magic happens.
I just don't have it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine, brother.
Oh, you good, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Bueller. Bueller.
He's gonna show how he makes a hamburger.
My doggy. I need to take my dog out.
My son was too busy playing Fortnite.
Yeah, he's only 6, so he only gets to play like a Scooby-Doo video game.
Yeah.
Daddy, will you put my doggy
After your guys' Barney time. I forgot if I ever asked you, man. Have you tried Wagyu beef?
Have I tried what?
Wagyu beef?
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it.
It's apparently some like really good beef. It's like a Japanese beef.
Oh no. Not
Yeah,
me.
it's that high dollar stuff. It's like expensive.
No.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I just didn't know if maybe, you may have dabbled on it or tried it out. Because you can't find it nowhere around here.
There was a county in Georgia, it's like 2 counties over, and it was one of the most richest counties, but they stopped any kind of prosecution or anything. I mean, they stopped not a ticket, not nothing. They won't take your bag, nothing. If it's under an ounce, then Gwinnett County will not take. They won't even give you a ticket. They just, whatever. That's awesome. They come out with I don't know if Nay knows anything about this, but a Delta 8 THC, which like the Delta 9 is the only thing that's illegal, I guess. So whatever, but. I just want to be able to smoke flower in peace and shit. Grow it.
Oh, I hear you there.
Listen, you guys, I gotta go, man. I'm so sorry. I gotta take care of my dog.
You're good, man.
All right, y'all take care. All right, y'all take
All right,
care.
brother. Appreciate all you do, man.
Absolutely, man. I will talk to y'all
Thank you.
soon. Thank you for being a part of the show, too, guys. Bye.
All right,
I'm
thank you.
waving at Doc so he knows I'm going. Bye, Doc. Later, brother. Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you for showing us that. Hell yeah. Look at that. Nice.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Bye, guys. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching the show. Big shouts out to Graham Elwood for doing the show with us tonight. Let's get rid of that. And I just want to say I had so much fun with Graham. Having a conversation with him was fantastic. Looking forward to having Ron Placone back, Steph Zamorano, and hopefully Lee Camp. If you guys will get on Twitter and let Redacted Tonight at Redacted Tonight know that we would love to have Lee Camp on here, just like we had Graham. It would be great. Okay, y'all? That we are a true cannabis interview channel where it's not just about using cannabis and acting dumb. It's about using cannabis and showing that everyone should have access to it while discussing regular topics. And I think Lee Camp would do great here. So let him know that, okay? Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Eddie. You guys were great on the Zoom, and the rest of you, we'll see y'all later. This is brought to you right here. This 20-second wave goodbye is brought to you by Ron Placone at ronplacone.com. Ron Placone on YouTube. Get your news on with Ron. And at Ron Placone on Twitter. Check out at Ron Placone on Twitter, please, and let them know that I sent you guys. Please get over there on Twitter. Seriously, that's where it's at. Bye, guys. Thank you, Graham Elwood. One more time. Just want to say that at the end. Thank you, Graham. I really appreciate it.